So guys, today we wanted to go over what is next for the First Descendant on 2026 specifically, because right now, as you know, the game is struggling a tiny bit. We are waiting for the next update on January, and we wanted to see what the devs have for us, planned for us for the next part of the season and when season 4 is dropping. We are not going to do an in-depth analysis or everything. There's probably videos out there. This is actually all news already because they show this before they drop the last update on December. So first, what we're getting on January. Well, no, we should first start with decisional direction.
2026.
Yeah.
Because 2025 was kind of sketchy. So 2026,
Yeah.
seasonal direction.
I think they want to focus on the gameplay loop, especially for endgame.
But like you said, the game's core loop, reinforcing
Yeah.
content and systems before they do season 4. So it sounds like they're kind of trying to fix the game a little bit, try to
Yeah.
patch it up
To make it less
before
repetitive.
they bring in a whole new season.
Yeah.
Which would be good. So some of this stuff might not be like, shiny and new, but in the long haul, it could help the game.
Yeah, they even share, if you check the live streams, they share this like graphic where you see that 3 parts of a pie like perfectly cut, and you have one for motivation, one for farming, and another one for research / optimization. And then they have an arrow to the right, say endgame content challenge. So what it feels like they're trying to do is that they want to make the farming and the grinding less repetitive, be more motivated to come back to the game, not just to like start a new catalyst or whatever and just leave right away. I think you saw somewhere where maybe if you're in the game when you're researching...
but that's way down the line. I'm just trying to go in line.
Okay, so this is actually something they are planning to implement in this season. And some of the stuff, of course, are not going to happen right away because they are basically changing how the game works. But now we go back to the roadmap here. We are going to start...
tracking field.
Exactly, that's the next update. In January, I don't know what day, usually it's at the beginning of the month, we are going to have a thing called the bridge tracking field, like Mr. is saying. And here it reads, gold farming content, where you can acquire additional rewards, such as superconductive cooling units. And you will say, what is that? That is the material you need to reroll the ancestor modules. So I don't know, that's the only thing you are going to get there. They're going to put other materials that you need for like endgame stuff. It's going to be a new place or a reused content place or what it is.
So that is just part of episode 2 though. So that's going to be a continuation of episode 2. I really don't expect this update to be insane. I think there'll be some stuff that improves the game, but I really don't think this is going to be crazy. And like you said, I don't know. It doesn't really imply anything. It could be a new area, but part of me thinks that maybe it's just going to be this rotation like they do with the 400%. I feel like it could be that, but yet maybe they implement some kind of like public event, the Albion Resources one or something. I don't know. But I do like that because we go through a lot of gold. A lot.
We are going to get a monthly balance, specifically, maybe there are more characters, but they're centering on Enzo. And you'll say, why Enzo? I remember at the beginning of the game, Enzo was like key to kill Colossus. He was really strong. Everybody used him for Colossus fighting. And then he kind of like faded away, especially after like the arcade tuning. Other characters were stronger than him and people kind of stopped using him. So I'm assuming that is the main reason why they are focusing on him right now. And they didn't specify, maybe they did if you watch live stream and listen what they're saying, but they didn't really specify here in the graphic. It says that we are going to get weapon improvement. Whatever, it's always nice to have some monthly balance. And the bigger part of the season, I feel like is more centered on episode 3, like the bigger drop of the season with the new Descendant Daya. We finally get Daya's storyline.
Well, what I'm looking at, you're going out of order from what I'm looking at, but that's fine if it shows it that way. In the graphic is like that, yeah. But in the stream, my bad, not in the stream. In this read up I have, like you said, it's Daya, which will be interesting. It's always nice to have a new Descendant, see what they do, as long as they don't break the game. But it does mention Ultimate Essimo. So, you're right. Ultimate Essimo would be episode 4, but they have it together with what I'm reading. It also says we plan to invest more resources into improving existing Descendants, so I suppose what they're doing, maybe even better improvements and weapons to enhance the gameplay instead of just additional ultimates. So the way that reads to me is we may see less new Descendants and less Ultimate Descendants and more bigger improvements, not just small changes. They call it a rework, but sometimes it doesn't feel that insane, depending on who it is. So we may see more big changes to certain Descendants that aren't as good, or even ones that are good. Maybe they change them. I think Glay needs a little bit of a rework at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited for that. I think I'm happy with that, instead of just getting basically the same thing that's a little bit better in an ultimate version.
And there is a new mode here they mention that I think you can see in your read up too. It's called the Onslaught mode. And they put in parentheses, beta. So I don't know if it's going to be full release or it's going to be in beta testing until we are sure what to do with it. But do you have any more info about that, mister?
It's new endgame content where you face increasingly stronger enemies as you progress through different difficulty stages. This is supposed to come out during episode 3. Like you said, it's supposed to be a beta first to refine the core gameplay, and they're aiming for an official release in May. I don't know. That to me sounds a little bit like the VEP a little bit. So it could be extremely boring or okay. I don't see this being insane. I do not see this being something that's absolutely insane and I love it. It just I don't know. They're going to be super tanky. They're going to do serious damage to you. They're just going to increase the values basically. I don't know. I guess it depends on if they make a whole new like mission for it or dungeon for it or whatever, or if they're going to just put them in a reuse or just take pieces and piece it together. I don't know. This is okay, but I'm not like super excited for it.
And speaking of dungeons, I don't know if you had this in your read up, but here in the like roadmap thingy they made for us, it mentions 2 new dungeons, at least for episode 3. One is called the Legion Lab dungeon, and the other one is called the Undersea Base dungeon. I don't know if that's going to be a new song, or they're going to introduce it in the songs we already have, or what.
I like that idea. That's something that I'm excited for. I like new, if it's actually new. So I think that's good. And you said that's season 3, episode 3?
Yeah, when Daya comes, we get them in dungeons. I don't know if we're going to get them right
so
away.
So we're talking probably February.
Yes.
There's one more thing for episode 3 here. There's probably more, but one more specific thing that I have here, and you kind of talked about it a little bit, but the research time boost. So starting from episode 3, I don't know exactly when, but sometime during episode 3 before we hit 4, they're preparing an event where the research time is reduced by starting research and playing the game. So you mentioned it, instead of going in and just putting an activator or weapon parts or a catalyst or a descendant or whatever and then leaving the game because there's nothing to do or you're bored of it, if you stay in the game, it sounds like it will speed up the time. And it says it's an event, so it probably isn't forever, but there will be something they add into the game to incentivize you to keep playing the game so your research gets done quicker. Depending on how much quicker, if it's not a lot, it probably won't change too much, but if it cuts a bunch of time off, then maybe it would be worth it to go do things in the game.
Like Mr. said, there is other things in episode 3 that we are probably not covering. We're just trying to highlight the main points that we care about, like some improvement to the UI, some weapon balances, etc. But now moving to episode 4, that will be the last episode of season 3 before we get the new season 4 on summer. Episode 4 for season 3 will drop on May, and they are going to make official the Onslaught mode based on the feedback they get from the beta version. And aside from that, I say that the most interesting thing aside from Ultimate SMO will be what they're calling here difficult Void Intercept Battle Renewal. So they already added a challenge and a base version to the Void Intercept battles. I don't know if that means they are going to add more difficulties or they are going to rework them because now our characters are super strong or what.
Yeah, Void Intercept battles. We kind of knew that they were going to do something different here because they took out to be able to shape stabilize your stuff, for your patterns and whatnot. They put them by the research and Albion. So we kind of knew they were going to do something. But it says towards the end of episode 4, so right before we hit season 4, we plan to introduce new Intercept battle content as endgame content with multiple difficulty stages. Additionally, from episode 3, until the new Intercept battle is added, the Void Abyss will rotate monthly. So we kind of knew about this. They specifying that they are going to bring in some new Colossus to fight. So I do like that. I know somebody said that it takes them a long time to design this and make it, and I understand that, but just adding the Abyss and changing them a little bit wasn't that great for me. I didn't really care. I don't care about the challenge. I don't play the game hard enough to ever be able to really even do those. So I didn't really care. I do want to see new Colossus fights, and it sounds like they're planning on doing that.
We're also getting a new dungeon on episode 4, but specifically for the Void Vessel. And that for us can be hate or love, because the first mission we got in the Void Vessel, the bridge one, I despise it. I don't like doing it, not even for farming. I don't like it, even if it's not that hard, it's annoying. The second one they added, I didn't like it that much just because of the crime, but I don't think it's actually, in my opinion, better than the first mission we got. Well, this time we are going to get a third one.
I'm hoping that is better. I was disappointed with the first one. When they talked about it being different when you ran it each time, it would be kind of random how you did it. I expected something else. I didn't expect it to be... It reminded me more of like Warhammer 40k Dark Tide a little bit, that it's this one map and there's multiple ways you can run it. I thought it was going to be more Payday style, so it was going to generate differently. I don't know why, but I was a little disappointed with it. The second one I liked. I don't know if the design was as good, but it was quicker. And at the point where I am in the game, it's about efficiency. So I think I like the second one better just because it was faster. So I hope the third one is decent, but we'll see.
One thing that I think is related to the party system, especially if you're playing PABs and you're looking for a group, is a thing called system improvement. For what I understand, I think you can just join if you're a noob to something that's a team is doing what is really hard.
It says, it doesn't say when, and there isn't much information here that I'm reading, but it says we plan to improve systems that create barriers to entry due to high complexity, such as mutant cell, box fragments, stat display information, and farming loops. So I don't know. That sounds a little bit like somebody that isn't really capable of doing it can't just join and get carried, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what that means, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but it does sound like something that would improve gameplay, because I see people arguing about that in the forums all the time.
Another thing they mentioned, but I don't see it here in the graphic unless I'm really blind, is a thing called the bounty board. They mentioned in the summary read-up that we are using as a reference. For me, what it sounds is like they're trying to maybe improve or rotate or make less tedious the grind in endgame. So if you go to Sigma Sector or you go to the infiltration operations, on all those things that you have to do to get materials or blueprints or whatever, it feels like they are going to rework that in a way that maybe it's less annoying or repetitive, or maybe they are going to rotate the rewards. I don't know. They don't really explain too much how that's going to work. But anything that can improve the loop, like the gameplay loop at the end, I'm okay with it.
The exact words they use is just, we plan to enable management of routines and rewards for Sigma Sector, infiltration operations, invasion, etc. within a single system. So this is something they're going to have to actually develop. Probably going to be good for the health of the game, but it's kind of vague right now.
And for Season 4, we are not getting that until the summer of 2026. So it's a long time yet. It's like 6 months from now. And the main things they highlight there are the Karel's final battle, the Mega Dungeon. So instead of Supermassive, it's called the Mega Dungeon. Are we going to kill Karel? That's it? The story's done? Or we are going to continue with somebody else? Or what?
That I don't know. I saw that too and was thinking that was kind of fast, but this it just feels like through all this time they have progressed the story very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. They've added a lot of stuff, they've changed a lot of things, but they've progressed the actual story, which isn't very good anyways, but they progressed it very slow. And now it makes it sound like, they said the final battle against Karel, so you have to win. If you don't win, you don't have a game. So, I don't know, and unless they think they're going to try to do a whole new story to continue it. Destiny's been doing that for years, but I'm excited for that one because that's a major piece of content and continue of the story. But yeah, it's interesting.
Descendant weapon released. Descendant. Wait.
Yes, I knew they were going to do that. They're going to be releasing red weapons, I think.
Red weapons? No! Okay, there's going to be extra grind with the red weapon that is good to revive the game content loop, like the loot of the game, so it doesn't feel that stale. But that means a lot of grind again. But since they're saying they're going to improve the grind, the in-game grind, I hope it's actually engaging, entertaining to do it, so I'm fine with that. So red weapons, okay. And we are going to get a new Descendant. I don't know if they show a pic of that, or if they are going to, I don't know. They keep introducing Descendants from people that we have in Albion. So I don't know if it's a brand new one, or it's going to be like Harry's. There's somebody that is there that we never knew she was going to be a Descendant or not. We are going to get Ultimate Haley. Wait, was it Haley the first Descendant we ever got, or that was Luna?
No. Haley was not the first. Haley was the one that had that extreme.
Maybe she was a second. Because we already got Ultimate Luna.
Of her, but it took tons of pieces.
Yeah, with invasion missions, yeah. Yeah, so we're going to get Ultimate Haley version on summer in the first part of that date. And like you said, overall, the main story. They don't really specify, so that the main plans for Season 4 are Carell story, the Mega Dungeon, Ultimate Haley, a new Descendant, and the Red Transcendant, new weapons.
Well, one more thing. It says the weapon system is going to be restructured from the current research, readjustment, augmentation, core-based framework. So I know I had heard them mention this before. I had seen a couple of people talk about it too, but I think you still... I don't even know if you're going to be putting the weapon together the same anymore. You know how stupid it is that you have to get one weapon and then do it 4 more times just to increase the unique ability on it?
Yeah.
I think that might stay the same, but the readjustment for the perks on the bottom and the augmentation cores, I don't know what they mean by the current research, but that system I think they're going to try and make better than what it is right now, because it's so tedious. It's just, I don't know. It's not great.
I think the game is going to be struggling at least until Season 3, Episode 3 drops in February of 2026 with Daya, because I know people are really invested. A lot of people are invested with Clay and her daughter Daya storyline, which is fine. I think maybe the game will be okay for the first 6 months of the year because of that. I'm just worried that people are not going to wait all the way until summer for Season 4. I feel like the game is going to struggle for a tiny bit after Daya drops. Some people are like, oh, yeah, she's good. Plays a tiny bit and then just go back to other games.
It's hard for me to say that this game is not good, because I think it is good. I think it was well made and very fun. We have a lot of time in it. So the amount of time we have in it, it's hard for me to say, even if the game were to go offline tomorrow, that it wasn't successful, in my opinion. I think some of the community has pushed them in a little bit of a weird direction, and they kind of got backed into a corner now and have went a different route with the game than I think they maybe originally were going to go with. I still think it is a good game. I think it could continue to be a good game and continue to be a game that survives for a longer period of time. I mean, this was a game that was meant to be like a Destiny or a Warframe. I mean, a Warframe is very difficult to do because that game's been around since 1995. So it would be very difficult to do that. But I think it could still. I just don't think all these things that they have planned is enough to do that. They made a redundant system with how you got the Descendants, and then they tried to change it with Haley one time, which was horrible, and then they changed it again now, and they've even been combining weapons with the Descendant and having to do the same materials and stuff. So I just think it's going to be really hard to get out of that corner that they're in right now. But I don't know. Maybe they can. I hope they continue, because I do like the game. People say in the comments, oh, I'm sorry to hear you guys don't like the game. No, that's not the case. I have problems with the game. There's things I don't like, but that doesn't mean I don't like the game as a whole. I don't just trash talk things or developers or whatever for no reason. It's my opinion. It doesn't make it right. It's our opinion. But yeah, I like what they're doing here. But from what I've seen, I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if it's enough.
Let us know down in the comments how you guys feel about the roadmap on 2026 and what is coming pretty soon on January on 2026. And thank you so much for watching.